Forbes said that this is the best he's ever seen you. What really was the switch this offseason that you think has kind of let you unlock this other level of pitching?
Yeah, I think it's kind of just been like being where the feet are, being present in the moment, whether that's in the weight room or on the field. Just kind of going with that and just being where we are and going through every day has kind of helped with that.
When you look at the roles, Scott talked about, starting, relieving, pin, closing, whatever. As a pitcher who's done it all, how do you adjust your mindset, not knowing exactly what your role might be a particular weekend? Or do you hope to get, before Texas Tech, set in okay, this is what they want me to do? How does that work in your mind?
No, I think it changes day to day or week to week, right? I feel like I've had the experience of I started as a freshman. I came out of the pen as a sophomore. So being able to adjust, I don't think it's that big of an adjustment. Of course, as a starter, you have the time to know that you're starting, but as a reliever, you're available every day, and I think that's kind of fun. So just knowing, being able to adjust whatever it is good. But I think a bunch of guys on the team can do whatever needs to be done, and I think that's one thing about this team is we're all bought in to win. So no matter what role it is people are going to take it and do it.
Coach Forbes was saying that he was getting emotional seeing Jake throw again recently after the injury he had. As his teammate and his friend, how cool has that been, seeing his journey to get back on the ball? Yeah,
this time last year, it was devastating, right? You see him, and then all the hard work he puts in. Comes from gets cut at a 4-year, goes to a JUCO, then comes here, and he was projected to have a great year, and see it get snap away like that, and just see what he's done to put the hard work in. It's been pretty special. But not only just the hard work that he's put in, he's also stepped up as a leader, even whenever he was injured. Every day he was always out there with us pitchers, going through scouting reports. He's in between innings, hey, I saw this. This is what you can do. Look at where the hitter's standing. So just stuff with that. Just took that step of, even though he's not pitching, he's able to still help.
What's impressed you the most about this team so far in the preseason?
Yeah, I think we just get after it, right? I think one thing about us is every day we're going to go out there and we're going to have fun, but we're also going to bust each other's chops and do some fun stuff with it. I think one of the best things about this team is that we're going to play hard-nosed baseball. I think you got to play us 27 outs, and good luck.
Forbes mentioned 3 freshman arms, McDuffie, Seagraves, and Lynch. What have you seen from them in this preseason?
Yeah, I think they're more mature than most freshmen. I think that's one of the biggest things that I can say is that they don't act like freshmen, and that's kind of a good thing. I think a bunch of older guys have kind of taken them underneath their wings, shown them hey, if this is where you messed up, hey, here's how you can improve. And I think if you can get them to mature a little bit faster rather than being just a freshman, that's going to help them out the most.
Forbes mentioned that you yourself have kind of matured as a leader, especially with all of these freshmen. How have you kind of taken that role? Yeah,
so I think the thing about it is as we go back to it, I've started, I relieved, I've done it all. So I feel like I can kind of help them navigate through what's going to come through it. So just being able to be an ear for them, I've seen it all. Trying to use that to help them. I think that's one of the things that our team's built on is servanthood, and it's just how can I help my teammate. So if I can help somebody and that's going to make us better and we're going to win more games, then I'm all for it.
How's the College World Series experience affected maybe this year's team, and how have some of the players that have been there shared that with the new guys?
Yeah, of course, experience is great, but this is a totally new team. I think that first pitch dinner kind of wrapped it up. They talked about it, but now we're all eyes forward. We're focusing on the 2025 season. Experience helps, but granted, this team's going to face adversities that last year's team didn't have or had. So it's a totally different year. I don't think that you can kind of bring the 2024 team and the 2025 team together and say they're the same exact team.
What have you seen from DeCaro this offseason? What's that dynamic like between you guys?
Yeah, he's one of my best friends, of course. I think he's going to be great. He looks great, moving well, getting after it in the weight room. I think it's going to be a special year for him.
Are there any particular changes you've noticed, just any differences from his freshman year?
I think it's kind of just been one thing, he's young for his age, and he's matured well, and I think that's going to be one of the biggest things for him.
With having the pitching lab here, how much do you rely on analytics? And how much does the coaching staff in general use the analytics that you guys get to kind of tinker with your pitch shapes?
Yeah, I mean, analytics are really helpful, but at the end of the day, you have to get outs on the mound. That's the name of the game. With the pitching lab, I mean, it's great. Be able to see all the force, and I think anything that you have with it, with the Edgertronic cameras, with the TrackMan, it's all there for us. They use the analytics, but at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the hitter out that's in the box. So whatever it takes to do that, I mean, analytically, you may have the worst pitch on the team, whether it's a fastball or whatever, but if it gets people out, then it gets people out, and I think that's the biggest thing.
Have you in the offseason made any changes to any of your pitches?
A little bit. I mean, we've been developing a changeup, and it's been a great pitch this preseason. Getting a lot of people out with it and getting a lot of swing and misses. So the changeup's been a great addition to it, and I think that comes with just knowing what it does and like how to use it. And I think the pitching lab's helped with it.
Today, the baseball program announced that they had sold a record number of season tickets, and it was up 30% from last season. When you think about the environments that you guys had in the Bosh, particularly at the end of last season, how exciting is it that you're going to have more people than ever before seeing Carolina baseball this season?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's something to always look forward to. I mean, the fans are what drive us, right? I mean, we want to play in front of a bunch of people, and I mean, that's what gets the juices flowing. And I mean, I think we have the best fans in college baseball. They're always here. I mean, Bosh Magic's real.
How important is it to have a guy like Luke back on the team this year? And can you touch on his leadership just a little bit too?
Yeah, I think he's matured as well as going into his sophomore year. I mean, he knows what it takes, and I feel like he caught all the games last year except a couple, and just having somebody that's been able to command the pitching staff as well as he did as a freshman, I think he's just going to take big strides with that with our pitching staff this year.
How helpful has it been, not just obviously to have Luke, but him not playing in the fall, to have Matt come in, be younger, have the ability both behind the plate and, hitting?
Yeah, I mean, I think it adds depth, right? I mean, that's one of the biggest things we have is depth, and I mean, guys pushing each other, whether it's in the plate, at their position or on the mound. I mean, having Mac as I guess you would say a backup right now, but still, I mean, he's not a backup anywhere else he goes, and that's one of the best things to have.
You mentioned a lot of newness on the roster this year. What have you seen from the outfield specifically, and how have you seen that new group kind of come together?
Yeah, I mean, it's 3 new guys in the outfield, right? All the other ones got drafted. I think it's going to be special. I think that what it takes is just people have to kind of gel together, and I mean, as a team, every year is different, right? With the transfer portal, with freshmen coming in, with the draft. I mean, each team's totally different. So if we look at it as that, I think this team came really close over the fall and this preseason. And the outfielders kind of come do their own thing as well in between themselves. But I mean, yeah, I think the communication between all of them is great.
You 2 more?
Who's the toughest out you've had to face, teammate-wise?
Ooh. Well, over the fall, it was me and Kane Kefley sits right beside me in the locker room. We always had like a little bet going in between each other and stuff, so it was always a pride bet that came with it. And that was always a fun at bat. I mean, this preseason, Luke's looked well. Only faced him a couple times, but he's done great.
Anything else? Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you, guys.